So here is the PR package that I received from CoverGirl. How cute is this little pouch over here? And then there are some goodies in here. So they did come out with a few new products that I really wanted to test out on camera. So we have some mineral powder. These are loose mineral powders. We have banana and translucent right over here. I don't know if they have any more shades other than these two here. I've actually only found one setting powder from the drugstore that I actually like, which is from Maybelline. So I'm really excited to try those out. They also came out with brand new primers. So we have these two primers over here. I have tried out their primers in the past and they were really good, but these are the new ones. So we have a moisturizing primer and then a mattifying primer. So it did come also with their foundation. This is the Trueblend Matte Made Foundation. It is definitely one from the drugstore that you need to try out. I really, really like this foundation. I have the shade T40 and I'm pretty sure this is the shade that matches me. And then these bad boys over here. So these are the brand new concealers, which I'm excited to try. They definitely remind me of Shade Tape. I love the packaging. There's a huge doe foot applicator in here. I can't even open it right now. So we are starting with cleansed skin. I'm just going to take some of this ultra hydrating mist from Olay and spray that all over the face. I've been obsessed with this. Okay, thank you Jackie Aina for putting everyone on this spray. It is so good. I have the energizing one and then there's a calming one. Really like the scent of this one. Oh, so good. I'm going to be trying the moisturizing primer from CoverGirl. And like I said before, I have tried out their primers in the past and they're really good. So this one is definitely like a hydrating lotion-y type of primer from what I'm seeing over here. Just going to go ahead and apply that. Oh, it's a little bit thicker than I thought, actually. But it feels really nice and hydrating. I have the foundation at the back of my hand. I'm going to go ahead and apply that with a nice damp sponge. And I just like to blend that into the skin. Now with this foundation, the coverage is pretty bomb. If you want full coverage, I would definitely go in with a dense brush and that will really pack on the coverage on the skin. I'm not going for anything super heavy, so the sponge is great because it really sucks away any excess product and gives it a more natural appearance, even though this foundation is not cakey or thick looking unless you go overboard with the amount of product you're putting on your skin. So I'm just gonna go ahead and blend that away all over the face. So now I'm going to try the concealer, which is the star of this video today. So this is called the Trueblend Undercover Concealer. There are 30 ml in this little bottle over here. This concealer comes in 30 shades, which is amazing, and retails for $13.99 Canadian. The foundation, I'm going to put a price down below because I don't remember exactly the price range. So I am going to try the shade Warm Honey. Oh, okay. This feels really creamy and not too heavy, which I like. But you can definitely tell that the coverage is going to be up and popping. Like, look at this. I'm excited. This concealer starts to set quite fast. Like that was just maybe a minute of me letting it sit under my eyes, or not even a minute, a few seconds, and it's already settling into the skin. Like I can still blend it, but I'm just gonna let you guys know up front, do not let this sit for too long or it's gonna be hard to blend. Because look at that, it's already set. Wow, but it looks really good, honestly. But I'm just having to work a little bit harder because it has set. That looks really, really good. I'm just gonna take a tiny little bit more, just right over here where I still have a little shadow, and blend that out. I think this looks really good. Like, it looks pretty flawless from here. I'm not seeing any cakiness. It doesn't look heavy under my eyes or anything like that. It covered underneath my eyes really well. And this color is perfect if you want more of like that natural brightening effect, but not like overly done. I really like it. I'm going to take a tiny bit of the concealer that's at the back of my hand, just a tiny bit. And I'm going to go over this blemish that I have here, because I'm seeing a lot of redness, and look at that, it's covering it really nicely. Just like that. Okay. Okay, cover girl. You covered these dark circles. I have the two powders in front of me. Just looking at it, the translucent really reminds me of like the Laura Mercier tone. And the banana is looking a little too yellow for my liking, just like looking at it briefly. I feel like that might be a little too yellow for me. So I have both powders right here at the back of my finger. I just want to show you guys. So we have the banana right over here and then the translucent right over here. So I hope you guys can really catch that. But I feel like the banana is just a little too yellow. I am going to go with translucent instead of banana. So I am going to go in with a damp sponge, grab some of that powder. I always grab about that much, and then I tap off the excess at the back of my hands, just like that. And then I get about that much of that powder. And then I just start to press that wherever I need it. Oh, Lord. Okay. Okay. Do you guys see that powder? Let's see how well it blends into the skin. So firstly, it is not heavy feeling at all. It feels really, really soft and smooth. And just pressing that in, it definitely brightens up wherever you put it. Like my under eye looks a lot brighter, but it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look like I have like a white cast or anything under my eyes. I always set my lids because I apply concealer on my lids. I'm gonna do it on my forehead. Okay, so here is the powder, and initial first impression is that it's a very lightweight powder. It's not heavy. Less is more for sure, because it definitely has like that very brightening effect. I feel like if I grabbed way too much powder, it would just be like really bright, unless you're going for that look. I tend to not go for that look, but overall it's really smooth. It feels like everything is set and it's not going anywhere, which I like. Yeah, it's all set and it looks good. It doesn't look heavy, it doesn't look dry or cakey. But one thing I will say, this is not the shade that I would set my entire face. I feel like if I put this all over the face, I would look like ashy tone right now. Okay, so I would definitely just use this for the under eyes and grab a different shade for my entire face. So it isn't really a translucent powder in my opinion, because you still have that really bright effect. So just be aware of that and be careful. Test it out under your eyes before you go with it all over the face. So yeah, and keep in mind, I didn't use a brush. Maybe with a brush it picks up less product, disperses it a little bit finer and translucent, rather than a sponge for sure, because the sponge is definitely going to pick up a lot more and really press that product in. But initial first impression, I think this looks great. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up the rest of my makeup, and then we're going to talk about these goodies at the end. So here is the full-on makeup look, and I think everything looks absolutely fabulous. I'm looking at my little monitor down here and my skin looks poppin'. I'm really impressed with the concealer. I love the way it looks under my eyes. It doesn't look heavy or cakey or anything like that, and it blends really nicely. Now keep in mind, it does start to set quite quickly, so you don't want to let this sit on your skin for a long amount of time, maybe just a few like seconds. I'm talking 5-10 seconds max, and then it start to blend it out. But I love the fact that it it's kind of like self-setting. You don't need a ton of powder to set this concealer. It's going to melt into the skin really easily and look flawless, and it doesn't look cakey, because I feel like I put a generous amount under my eyes, and even getting really close up to my face, it doesn't look heavy, it doesn't look cakey and super drying under my eyes. It actually looks really nice, and the coverage is amazing. Like this is pretty good, because I got some dark circles, okay? I have talked about the foundation on my channel, I believe, before, and I love this foundation. I think it's a great full coverage, satiny foundation for the drugstore. The fact that they have such an amazing shade range is fabulous, so definitely check it out. It's really creamy, blendable. You can have light coverage, but you can really get full coverage out of this foundation, so it's versatile. It's all about priming your skin properly to be able to use certain foundations, and I think a really nice hydrating primer paired up with that foundation is amazing, okay? And this is a foundation that I have worn many times, and I know that it lasts pretty much all day long. So those are my thoughts on the foundation. And the concealer, again, I'm going to wear this more and more throughout the week. If I see any changes or more information that I want to give you guys, check out the description box or follow me on Instagram. I keep you guys updated on products there all of the time, especially on my stories. Now, the powder. I do like the powder. It isn't my favorite powder, to be really honest with you guys, but for a drugstore powder, I think it's great. I personally have a really hard time finding powders at the drugstore that don't look too dry or don't look really ashy on my skin. The only powder that I have used from the drugstore that worked fairly well with me was the Maybelline powder, the loose powders. These powders are great. I love the fact that there is more than one shade. There's 7 shades to select from. Yes, 7 shades to select from, so that is amazing. I would definitely use it with a nice sponge to really blend it and kind of melt into the skin. This particular shade that I used, which was translucent, you want to be careful if you are my skin tone, because it can become a little bit on the ashy side. So small quantity at a time, really mesh it into the skin and blend it into the skin so you don't get any lines of demarcation or a really white cast under your eyes. I didn't use the yellow powder. Maybe it would have suited me a little bit better, but just the translucent, it isn't a powder that I would set my entire face with, but my under eyes, it worked out really well. Like, it definitely looked brighter when I applied that powder, and it set the concealer nicely. It doesn't look heavy and it doesn't look too drying. Honestly, I'm looking real close, and my under eye area doesn't look dry or anything like that. So I like that the powder didn't do that. It didn't change necessarily the formula of the concealer or even the finish of it. It did mesh in with the concealer really nicely. I think that CoverGirl is definitely really doing their research, listening to consumers, listening to what the consumers are saying are missing from the drugstore, and they are doing their magic and putting it out there with the shade range from their foundation and now these powders and the concealers. I think that they are doing an amazing job with rebranding and just coming out with products that are comparable to high-end brands that are super duper pricey compared to these pricing, but still have the quality. So bravo on them. And yeah, I think everything looks amazing, and I'm super excited to continue using these products. Again, if I have any more updates for you guys, check out the description box or follow me on Instagram, and I'll let you guys know. But I think it did really good. So if you have tried out any of these products from CoverGirl, definitely leave your comments down below and let us know your experience. I can only speak for myself. I right now have normal combo skin, I want to say. My skin is kind of changing with the season. I get kind of oily in the T-zone area. I still have my dry patches, and then I have my normal areas. So I got a little bit of everything going on. But if you are oily, if you are super dry, if you are normal, comment down below and let us know how these products worked out for you. I love hearing your feedback, and let me know what you want to see next on the channel. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and I will see you guys on the next one. Ciao!